Listen up, boys. You walk into any lodge these days, and the air is thick with argument. Which caliber reigns supreme? Some rounds have earned their stripes for decades, putting venison in the freezer without complaint. Then you got these newcomers, these physics-pushing babies built by college kids who probably haven't pulled a trigger in anger. Inflation is eating your wallet, and election cycles mean the supply chain might turn to dust next Tuesday. I'm not here to hand you some marketing fluff designed by a computer program. I'm digging into the real deal. We're looking at 8 heavy hitters right now that promise pinpoint accuracy and massive energy transfer. Whether you're reloading brass you found, or just trying to afford your next box of ammo, these calibers demand your attention. Pay attention, because some of this factory stuff costs more than my first truck. Number 1. The Specialist. 338 ARC A Whisper. Quiet option for close work. This ain't for the canyon crasher. This is number 5 on our current rundown, and it's a specialist round designed to change the game for suppressed shooting. We're talking about the 338 ARC. This thing was developed by the eggheads over at Hornady, and it's purpose-built for the AR-15 platform. It solves an old mess. Usually when you go subsonic, you lose terminal performance. Not this puppy. The 338 ARC keeps its composure. It pushes heavyweights, bullets in the 300 grain class, at roughly 1,050 feet per second. That's a whole lot of mass moving just below the speed of sound. For tactical fellas or guys clearing hogs at night, this is a dream setup. You get that mouse fart quiet signature when you run a suppressor, but you still deliver a sledgehammer blow on impact. It's optimized for close to mid-range work, where stealth is the absolute priority. Whether you're running a short-action bolt gun or a gas gun, this cartridge bridges the gap between being whisper quiet and actually ethically dispatching the target. No more weak hits. Now, ammo availability is still ramping up because this is cutting-edge stuff. You're relying on Hornady and some custom loaders filling the market right now. Expect to pay a premium for this specialized engineering. A box of 20 rounds is going to run you between $65 and $95. If you need silence without weakness, the 338 ARC is the modern solution, but you'll pay for the privilege of being quiet. While this round excels in stealth, the next one is built entirely around the concept of getting you up high without breaking your back. Number 2. The Climber's Choice. 7mm backcountry light pack, heavy hit. We are heading up the mountain, brother. This is the 7mm backcountry configuration, built around the legendary 7mm Remington Magnum. This is the round for the hunter who counts every single ounce in his pack, but refuses to compromise on Magnum power. If you're chasing elk or moose across steep ridgelines, you know the struggle. You need a rifle that carries light but hits like a freight train at 500 yards. When you chamber that 7mm Rem Mag, you get one of the flattest trajectories in the business. We're talking about bullets in the 139 to 175 grain range screaming out of the muzzle at 3,000 feet per second. When you pair that ballistic profile with a specialized platform like the Weatherby Mark V Backcountry 2.0, you have a lethal combination. These rifles use carbon fiber stocks, spiral fluted barrels, and advanced muzzle brakes to tame the recoil. Physics dictates that a light gun kicks hard, but modern engineering mitigates that punishment. Ammo support for the 7mm Rem Mag is massive. You can find loads from Hornady, Nosler, Federal, and Remington on almost any shelf. Whether you want bonded soft points or monolithic copper, it is available. For premium backcountry grade ammo, expect the price tag to sit between $55 and $85 a box. It is the ultimate execution of portability and long-range lethality for the high-altitude hunter. It'll save your hip the strain of carrying junk weight. But it packs enough wallop for big critters. If you're hiking vertical country, you need flat trajectory, but the next cartridge sacrifices a little range for pure, unadulterated speed on varmints. Number 3. The Speed Demon. 25. Creedmoor Laser Beam Precision for Coyotes. Number 3 is a speed demon that is waking up the predator hunting community, the 25 Creedmoor. This is what happens when wildcat ingenuity goes mainstream. Basically, ballisticians took the incredibly popular 6.5 Creedmoor case and necked it down to accept a quarter-bore, 25 caliber bullet. The result? Absolute laser beam performance. You are launching 85 to 110 grain projectiles at blistering speeds, often exceeding 3,200 feet per second. For coyote, fox, or bobcat hunters, This means almost zero holdover and minimal wind drift. It is also plenty of medicine for antelope and deer with the right shot placement. The recoil is negligible, which is critical when you need to spot your own trace or take a fast follow-up shot on a running dog. Right now, this is still a bit of a boutique cartridge. You are mostly seeing it in custom bolt actions or high-end AR-10 builds, but with bullet options like the Hornady ELDVT or the Berger VLD, the terminal ballistics are devastating. Because it is not mass-market saturated yet, you are relying on custom ammo makers. Pricing is hovering in that $60 to $95 range for a box of 20. If you prioritize speed and surgical precision above all else, the 25 Creedmoor is the Predator's choice. It's fast, clean, and keeps my aging eyes from having to calculate wind adjustments way out there. Next up, we are taking a hard left turn away from the mainline target cartridges and heading back to the woods where Grandpa did his deer hunting. Number 4. The Straight Wall Reviva 400 Legend, Big Bore Compliance. On our initial list brings a classic American action into the 21st century, the 400 Legend. They call this one the regulatory because it was purpose-built to dominate in states with straight wall restrictions. Winchester looked at the 350 Legend and decided they needed more muscle. The 400 Legend fires a massive 40 caliber projectile. We are talking about bullet weights from 190 up to 215 grains. At the muzzle, you are generating over 2,200 foot-pounds of energy. That is serious stopping power, boys. It maintains lethal energy well past 200 yards, which is the realistic limit for most straight wall hunting scenarios anyway. You can run this in a bolt gun for simplicity, or build out a heavy-hitting AR-15 for semi-auto capability. It creates a massive wound channel, making it ideal for big whitetail, feral hogs, and black bear. Despite the power, the recoil is manageable, certainly less than a 12-gauge slug. It is the perfect solution for the Midwest hunter who needs to follow the law, but refuses to carry an underpowered rifle. Ammo is rolling out from Winchester and others, generally costing between $35 and $55 for 20 rounds. If you want big bore performance with modern efficiency, the 400 Legend is the new standard. It respects the regulations, but it doesn't apologize for dropping game hard. Alright, that covers the first batch that prioritizes modern design and compliance. Now we are switching gears. We are jumping over to Source 2, where we are looking at the absolute brutes, the cartridges designed to treat gravity like it owes you money. Number 5. The Speed King, 6.5 300 Weatherby Magnum Fastest Production, 6.5. Kicking off this second wave at number 5, we have the absolute speed demon of the 6.5mm world, the 6.5 300 Weatherby Magnum. The mad scientists over at Weatherby dropped this in 2016, and they didn't just push the envelope, they set it on fire. They took the massive 300 Weatherby Magnum parent case and necked it down to squeeze in a skinny .264 caliber projectile. We are talking about slinging bullets anywhere from 127 grains up to 140 grains. The chronograph data on this thing is terrifying. If you load up the 127 grain Barnes LRX, you are screaming out of the barrel at 3,500 feet per second. Even with a heavy 140 grain A-frame, you are still clocking nearly 3,400 feet per second. That is generating muzzle energy between 3,400 and 3,700 foot-pounds. Why is it here? Because it holds the belt for the fastest production 6.5 cartridge on Earth. It takes those slippery high ballistic coefficient bullets and drives them so hard that bullet drop is practically non-existent inside 500 yards. If you are hunting sheep or mule deer in vertical terrain, this is a cheat code. But you knew there was a catch. Physics always demands payment. The recoil is sharp. It'll punish your shoulder, I guarantee it. The muzzle blast will clear your sinuses, and your barrel life is going to be tragic. If you get 600 to 800 rounds of precision out of a barrel, you should buy a lottery ticket. This is a specialized instrument found in high-end rigs like the Weatherby Mark V AccuMark or the Backcountry 2.0. It's pure performance, but you pay for every single foot-pound in metal wear and tear. While the 6.5 300 burns barrels out, the next round is an old classic that invented this whole speed game decades ago. Number 6. American Royalty, 2157. Weatherby Magnum, the original lightning bolt. We are looking at pure American royalty, the .257 Weatherby Magnum. This is the original lightning bolt cooked up by Roy Weatherby himself back in 1944. Roy took the legendary 375 H&H Magnum case, chopped it, blew it out, and necked it down to a quarter bore, .25 caliber. This was Roy's favorite child, and it's easy to see why. With a 100 grain pill, you are leaving the muzzle at a blistering 3,600 feet per second. Step up to the 120 grain loads, and you are still moving at 3,200 feet per second. You are looking at roughly 3,100 foot-pounds of energy at the muzzle. The reason this round is a legend is simple. Roy designed it to ignore holdover. At 400 to 500 yards, this thing shoots flatter than almost anything else you can buy off the shelf. For open country game like pronghorn or whitetail across the bean fields, it delivers hydrostatic shock that simply turns the lights out. The pros are velocity and devastating terminal effect. The cons are the classic Weatherby tax. It eats barrels for breakfast. The brass is expensive, and you really need a 26-inch tube to get that advertised speed. If you cut that barrel down, you are just turning powder into noise. You will typically see this in the Weatherby Mark V and the Vanguard line. It's proven, but it's thirsty for powder and hard on steel. If you want flatter shooting than this from a proprietary line, you have to look at the Nosler rounds built on a modern Magnum case. Number 7. The Ballistic Hammer 26 Nosler Maximum Velocity from a rum case. It's a modern ballistic hammer, the 26 Nosler. This cartridge was built with a singular mission profile, which is to be the flattest shooting round in history. Nosler dropped this in 2013 to launch their proprietary line. They took the giant case of the 300 Remington Ultra Magnum, shortened it, and necked it down to 6.5 millimeter. The philosophy here is maximum velocity with zero compromise. It pushes leads so fast that inside of 400 yards, you do not even need to think about holdover. Just put the crosshairs on the hair and squeeze. This is arguably one of the most potent 6.5 millimeter rounds ever engineered. It is purpose-built for long-range elk and sheep hunting where you need energy delivery way out past 500 yards. However, just like the Weatherby, you pay the price in barrel steel. Expect a barrel life of 800 to 1,200 rounds if you are lucky. It also kicks significantly harder than your buddy's 6.5 Creedmoor or PRC, and it demands a standard long-action receiver. Look for this chambering in rifles like the Nosler M48, the Christensen Arms Mesa, and the Weatherby Mark V. It's brute force velocity, plain and simple, designed to beat the old Weatherby Speed King, but it burns barrels faster than I burn through coffee on a cold morning. Speaking of beating the competition, the next round takes that same big case design and steps up the diameter for true heavy hitter status. Number 8. The Big Brother 28 Nosler smokes the 7mm mag. The Big Brother, the 28 Nosler. Introduced in 2015, this uses that same modified 300 Ultra Mag parent case, but necked up to grab a 7mm projectile. This was designed to milk every single drop of performance out of high BC 7mm bullets. Shooters love to compare this to the 7mm REM mag or the 300 Win mag. But let's be real, the 28 Nosler smokes them both on velocity and energy, all while fitting in a standard long action. If you load a 180 grain Burger 5 LD, you are seeing velocities around 3,150 feet per second. That is gapping the 7mm REM mag by nearly 200 feet per second for elk, moose, or mountain goats in wide open country. This is a distinct advantage. It is also a darling of the extreme long-range community for ringing steel at 1,000 yards plus. The pros are insane energy retention and a flat trajectory that embarrasses many 30 caliber magnums. The cons are short barrel life and recoil that will wake you up. It is definitely stouter than a 6.5 PRC, so invest in a good muzzle brake. You can find top-tier rifles for this round like the Bergara B14, the Christensen Arms Ridgeline, and the Savage 110 High Country. It's faster than the classic Magnums, but now we look at the cartridge that successfully packaged that big power into a modern, efficient design that doesn't require you to have the spine of a Navy SEAL to shoot it. There you have it, folks. 8 cartridges that cover the spectrum from silent tactical work to big game dropping power. These are tools, not toys. They require respect, good brass, and a shooter who knows what he's doing. If you're worried about getting laughed at when you show up to the long-range bench, these rounds will shut the critics up quick. Now I need to know, do you trust the raw speed of the Weatherby Magnums, or are you moving over to the efficiency of the modern Nosler cases? Tell me below. If you enjoyed this no-nonsense analysis, and want to see more comparisons without the garbage marketing, crush that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next drop. Train hard, shoot straight, and we will see you on the range.